You heard it there, you heard it here. Everyone seems to be talking about an imminent housing or foreclosure crisis. In this video, I'm going to quickly take you through the details on why people are even talking about a housing crisis, at least several of the major talking points, and why they may be right or why they may be flat out wrong. So stay tuned. What is up, everyone? I'm your man Wesley Guest, and like I said, in this video we're going to take a look at the details on why people are talking about a foreclosure bonanza, even though residential real estate market is straight fire at the moment. Specifically, the topics I'm going to tackle are mortgage delinquencies, housing price bubble, an eviction crisis, and inflation or interest rates. But real quick, if you're new to my channel, I cover real estate topics on a local and national level, in addition to creating detailed videos about living in paradise, San Diego. If that interests you, please consider subscribing and maybe consider smashing that like button. And if you or someone you know is thinking about moving to, from, or inside San Diego, don't be shy about getting a hold of me. I love making videos like this, but the truth is I love helping amazing people just like you get into real estate or the real estate game even more. My phone and emails are absolutely blowing up right now, and I wouldn't have it any other way. If there's anything I can do to help you reach your real estate goals, I will 100% make it happen. All right, so let's dive right in. And remember, so these are the hot button topics people are talking about. I don't have a crystal ball, so who knows how this ultimately is going to shake out. This is what has everyone in a tizzy. Number one is mortgage forbearances, more specifically mortgage delinquencies, preceding an eventual real estate market crash. That's what everybody's saying. So if you remember the CARES Act from a few months back when this whole pandemic COVID-19 thing started, one of the things it did is it allowed homeowners who were having trouble or hardship paying their mortgage to stop paying temporarily, up to 6 months in most cases, and that was actually repeatable for an additional 6 months. In addition to halting any type of foreclosure activity from banks basically until 2021, and that's still changing. We could see even more changes. Many took the forbearance option because electing to qualify required pretty much little more than a simple phone call or an email to your mortgage servicer saying the word hardship. Boom, you're off the hook, or at least temporarily. So of course that was a huge help for anyone that was unemployed, anyone not receiving rent from tenants, let's say, whatever the reason, just a hardship, struggling to make that mortgage payment. In return, borrowers can expect really nothing more than maybe a mortgage delinquency to show up on their credit reports, and that's pretty much about it. By the way, we're talking about mortgage forbearance, not forgiveness. It's a huge difference. So this is where the big discrepancy shows up. Many borrowers elected to take the forbearance option, but not all of these borrowers who took it actually needed it. So you're telling me I could stop paying my mortgage for up to 6 months, maybe more, and hold on to that money interest and penalty free? Times were and are still very uncertain, as you know. It's hard to blame people for holding on to a little extra cash in their savings in these uncertain times. Biggest issue here is this is producing or produced an artificially inflated mortgage delinquency statistic. It's interesting now. The most recent survey and statistics exactly 6 months after the first wave of mortgage forbearances happened or were allowed, April to September. The mortgage delinquency rate is dropping and dropping fast. The people who didn't really need it are starting to opt out, in addition to some of those borrowers who are able or to opt out in order to take advantage of another huge motivator right now: low interest rates. Ridiculously low interest rates. So low we may never see these again in our lifetime. You can't refile where you're in a forbearance. Ding, ding, ding. We are definitely seeing improvements in mortgage delinquencies at an increasing rate. Problem number two that has people feeling a little bit uneasy is the surging real estate prices for homes in residential real estate. And surging they are. In San Diego alone, my market, we're looking at a 16% price increase in the last 12 months alone. Yes, 16%. This gets people thinking 2008. Here we go again. You have to understand the economy is looking a whole lot different this time around in 2020 than it did in 2008. 2008 it actually started to crack in 2005. We had rising interest rates, think inflation, a declining real estate or declining real estate values, and a surge in unemployment. Right now, we have the lowest mortgage interest rates we have ever seen, no sign of inflation, rapidly increasing real estate prices, and high unemployment. There is equity, so people are not underwater. Equity, I mean a lot of equity, which gives people options. You have to understand, we learned a thing 12 years ago. The meat and potatoes behind this price surge is supported by buyers who actually qualify. No ninja loans anymore. Buyers are qualified and have some, if not not a lot of skin in the game this time around. The market is something completely different. But who knows? When it's all said and done, maybe it ends up being the sequel to The Big Short or The Big Short 2. Okay, so number 3 is going to be evictions and tenants not paying rent to their landlord. So the problem here is several layers deep. Anyone else loves 7-layer dip? It looks something like this. Tenant has a hardship, had to stop paying rent, landlord does not receive rent and can't pay their mortgage. Mortgage servicers don't get paid, and that's where the wheels really start to fall off. As of right now, as most of you know, we are in an eviction moratorium. There's no evictions happening and will be in most states and cities until 2021. The original stimulus package did a decent job of avoiding a complete collapse, but that expired. We're all still waiting for the government to pass a second stimulus package. Hopefully things are going better behind the doors than what the news portrays. The numbers Democrats and Republicans are proposing exceed, for the most part, what will be required to completely eradicate any eviction crisis. An agreement is imminent and will happen maybe by the time you are watching this video. And number 4 is going to be inflation, right? I feel like we're always talking about inflation and the eventual rise of interest rates. This is definitely something to watch. I think most experts are not expecting any major changes until 2024, 25, 26, but that's another whole video entirely. We can go so deep into that. Maybe I'll get into that if this video does well. Anyway, as always, let me know what you think in the comments. Hoping that at least that makes some of the current arguments in real estate gossip happening make sense to you. And don't forget, if you or someone you know is thinking about moving to, from, or inside San Diego, don't be shy about getting a hold of me. I want to make more videos, but I'd rather be helping you. If there is anything I can do to help you reach your real estate goals, I will 100% make it happen. Thank you for watching or listening. If you're on the podcast, I publish at least 1 video per week, if not more. So I'll see you on the next one.